That's shit. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Ryan, I'm sorry. First time jitters. We nervous. We nervousing. Okay, anyways. YouTube. Okay. Hi guys and welcome back to my...
Wait, I was fixing my shirt.
Okay, I'll restart. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So this week's video is a very special one because I have siblings with me. This is my older sister Rayleigh and my younger sister Raya. And we're just all here to talk about how to be friends with your siblings. Because I feel like there's just a lot of people out there that have siblings or families and they just don't know how to be friends with their siblings at all. Like there's just a lot of just like either tension or they just don't know how to actually become friends with their siblings. So we honestly were blessed with having a really strong family unit growing up, mainly because like we moved so much. We were each other's only friends for a long time, but also just like it was something my family and my parents really highly instilled in us of like you are supposed to be friends with your siblings. So we're just here to tell you guys what from our experience what we think is the best way to cultivate friendships, not just sibling relationships, but friendships with your siblings. So the first thing that I think is really important when it comes to like cultivating real friendships with your siblings is what we did, which is you hang out with them with your friends. Like you don't segregate your sibling relationships from your actual friendships. Like you can't expect to be friends with your siblings if you don't treat them and integrate them into how like your social life is with your friends. So all the time, like Rayleigh and I, since she was older than me, I would always hang out with her and her friends, but it just kind of made me more mature. But then her hanging out with my friends gave her like a taste of our generation, even though like we're the same generation. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she graduated high school before me, and so
we were just like two different life stages, so it was so easy to like forget what it was like being in that stage of life. And also like seeing you interact with your friend group showed me a different part of who you were, because obviously it's like it's not like you changed, it's just the situation called you to act a little differently, but it was a piece of you that I wouldn't have seen otherwise unless I would have hung out with you and your friends, and the same the other way around.
And then like if you have like we didn't technically have the same friends at first. It's just I would tag along with her friend groups, and we'd end up being friends. Like we're 18 months apart, which is pretty close, but we were 3 grades apart. So because she graduated high school pretty young, so it was like even though it was technically a large separation, like that shouldn't and didn't stop us from still having friends with those friends. But then like with Raya, we did swim team together like my senior year and her freshman year. So I hung out with her friends that were freshmen, and then now I'm a high school girls leader at our church group, but it's her and her friend group. So it's like I get to know her as both as like being a leader over her, but also seeing her interact with her friend groups, but then she always tags along with me and my friend groups. So it really just like develops your social skills whenever you don't just stick to one social stream. You know what I'm saying? Like having diversity really cultures you and matures you to also know to be humble. Like it doesn't just mature you by hanging out with older people, it matures you by hanging out with younger people, with your younger siblings. And it also just kind of shows that like you value your sibling enough to want to hang out with them even when it's with friends that aren't theirs technically.
And it's not like you have to do it all the time. Like it's not like all the time that I hung out with like my friends, Rihanna was always with me. It's just like I treated her just like any other friend, to where it's like, okay, maybe sometimes I'll go and I'll hang out with these 2 or 3 friends, but then other times it wasn't a problem to bring her along. So it's not a bad thing to like have your time with like your people, but like don't see it, all we're saying is like don't segregate, integrate, and like bring them together.
That's a good one.
So it's like, well, thanks, but like, so it's like just bringing it all together, because it shows you who you really are, aside from just like your one friend group. Like just developing confidence, like you said.
But basically, whenever like they were in their senior and junior year of high school, they had all these friend groups and stuff like that, and I was in the 6th grade. So it is really hard when your siblings are like older than you and you're just kind of chilling. You're like, hey, I'm still in elementary.
She's like what, 5 years?
Yeah, I'm 5 years younger than you and 4 years younger than you. But I still was able to like hang out with their friends, and it was really cool because I kind of got to watch like them grow up, and they got to watch me grow up. And so I even encourage you, if you have like younger siblings that are in elementary school and you're in high school, you're not too cool to hang out with them because I was really annoying. I'm really just gonna be honest, but I still hung out with their friends.
But then, like, it shows like your friends' maturity because they always accepted Raya.
So if your friends hate your younger siblings,
get out, run. They're not your friends because your friends should appreciate you and not judge you, and never be the one to instigate tearing down or belittling your family.
Yeah,
not cool. So yeah, like, even though Raya was a crackhead, she still she still hung out with like all of our friends, or even all of Rayleigh's friends.
Yeah, I don't know, like even though sometimes you were a little on the crazy side just because of your energy level and stuff, like, you were always super clever with the one-liners. So all of my friends, like, you were very socially aware, and I don't know how much of that was like just something God gave you, and how much of being socially aware you gained from being with friends who were so much older than you were. Like, I think that both played a role, but like, you weren't always like that, but like, I think that it helped, and it helped a little bit. So
how to get along with your siblings? Get a dog.
Yes,
I love you. So the second thing we wanted to share had to do more with conflict resolution, because I think that's a big thing, like, no matter where you are, like, no matter if it's like between brother and brother, sister and sister, like
sister and brother,
like, conflict knows no gender. So it's the understanding how to best approach it. And so for us, like, one thing that we really learned and are still learning, I wanted to clarify that, is to be each other's public advocate but private counselor, meaning, like, okay,
really with the wisdom over here.
So it's like, at the end of the day, like, you are all on the same team. Like, it's not like each one of you is any better than the other. It's like you guys are all trying to keep the ball up. Like, you're all reaching the same goals. And so understanding that helps you realize that, like, okay, whenever we're out and, like, whenever other people are trying to seek to divide us, like, that's just not going to happen. Like, I'm going to stand up for you in public. Now, like, there have been instances where it's like I didn't totally agree with what you guys had to say, or how you guys handled something or whatever. I mean, that happens. We're all our own unique personalities in different stages of life, so we're learning to handle things differently. But, like, I don't want to ever come across like I'm talking badly about my sisters in front of my friends, or in front of just other people in general. Like, I always want to come across like I'm on their side, because I think it speaks volumes to your siblings when you do that. Like, when you realize, when you realize that your sibling is fighting for you, especially in front of your friends or their friends, like, there's just a trust that's built inside of you, and that's almost like this padding for future conflict, where it's like, man, they always are on my side and they're really looking out for my best interest. So if they're gonna come to me and they're gonna bring something to my attention, it's because they care and not because they're out to get me. And it's hard to feel that way if you are always watching your sibling talk badly about you.
And it's not that you can, like, never tell someone whenever your sibling has hurt you or bothered you about something. It's that you have to be careful about the people you tell. Like, don't go to your close friends or your best friend or your friend group about that, because that's, like, unhealthy. Go to someone like a mentor that's older than you and slightly separated from that friend group or from that sibling relationship, because when you go to people that are like your close friends, they have a tendency to be biased, and when you're really wanting to go to fix a problem, you don't want people to be biased for your favor. You want someone who's going to look at the problem and say, okay, for both of your guys' benefit, in the long run, this is what needs to be done. So just finding someone that's older than you as like a mentor, or just someone that's slightly separated, will be so helpful, because you can vent to them but not gossip, and still not be like kind of rude to like your friends or whatever by just like bashing your siblings the whole time.
And another thing to remember is that you are not fighting the person, you are resolving the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So, say we have a sentence and it says, I hate when Rihanna does this. You want to move the emphasis from I hate when Rihanna does this to I hate when Rihanna does this. You know what I'm saying? So, if there's ever a problem with them, like, lying to you or stealing your clothes or unincluding you, that problem is probably going to come up again in another relationship.
Like, it's not just sanctioned just for that one friendship.
Yeah. And so you're going to want to know how to work out the problem instead of work it out with the person. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, because, like, the whole thing is, like, if you're learning to do this in, like, the safety of your home and, like, with your siblings and your training ground, like, that is the only place that you're going to really learn to do it before you head into other serious relationships. Like, how you treat your siblings in conflict is how you're going to treat your spouse in conflict. Like, that is really what it's going to be like, because that's the only way at that close level of just, like, intimacy and familiarity that you're going to be having with them is it's similar to what you have with your siblings. So if you learn to focus on, like, the problem and not the person now when you're discussing things that need to be resolved, it is going to save you so much time with your siblings and with other future relationships, because you've already kind of figured out how to do it now before when it, like, seriously counts.
Yeah, like, it's not that it's a guarantee that how you and your siblings' relationship is going to be what your what your spousal relationship is like, or your dating relationship is like. But if you think about it, it makes sense. If you're used to being in your home and you get comfortable and you're free to be, like, frustrated and annoyed or tired, and you just respond out of being frustrated, annoyed, or tired, you will be frustrated, annoyed, and tired, and in a home that you're comfortable with whenever you're married or dating someone. Like, you're gonna get to that level of comfort where you feel okay to lash out at them like that, but that shouldn't, like, justify doing it. Like, your relationship with your siblings and your family, like what Rayleigh said, should be your training ground for the rest of your relationships. If you learn to work it out here where there's grace and you know you're just family, so it's not like you're just being like, we're gonna break up because we fight all the time. Like, you can't just break up with your siblings. So it's like you know they're consistent. So it makes it so much easier and healthier in the long run. It's not just about being friends with your siblings to be friends with your siblings. It's to learn how to work out relationships, because you're going to have relationships with a human for the rest of your life, like in whatever situation you walk into. So it's just like, it's more than just family. It kind of bleeds into how you respond to everything else.
And our final point to becoming friends with your siblings is laugh often and find similar interests. And so this isn't too hard with a lot of the families that I know, but it's just a fun reminder just to be funny around your siblings. You have no reputation to uphold with them. You have no
That's true.
precedents that you have to have about you, at least we don't. We all have our different, like, styles of humor, and we all laugh along with each other, and it kind of builds each other's confidence whenever, I know whenever my sisters laugh at my jokes, or whenever I'm like a crackhead and they laugh at me, and I know it builds my confidence. So yeah, I don't know, just laugh often. Don't be afraid to laugh with your siblings. Don't be afraid to just hype them up and laugh at their videos and make funny videos with them, and definitely don't push that aside. And then the other thing is find common interests. I know it was super important to me whenever Rihanna joined swim team, because I super love swimming.
Short season.
And whenever Rihanna did it, we were able to, like, relate to each other. I was like, oh my gosh, that was a hard practice. And she was like, yeah, I know, I sat down for half of it, but it was hard. And so
that's what happened.
So I don't know. It's just fun, and it helps you relate to them. And Raeliallise, I know I can relate to her as far as, like, running social media or taking pictures and stuff like that.
And there was that time where all three of us did dance.
Yeah. So I don't know, just like, even if some of you guys don't play sports, even if some of you don't do art, like, just find those common things that you can relate to, even if it's like having the same hair color or like, you know what I'm saying?
Everyone's different, so you're entitled to your uniqueness, but don't let pride be like the facade of saying, I just want to be unique, so I don't have anything to relate to them. Like, that's pride. If you are working hard to sustain a relationship, you will find stuff, and you will want to find something, even if it's not your first choice, that you guys can do together or laugh about together or talk together. Like, if you think that you guys are so separated that you can't talk about anything, you're just that different, that's not actually being different. That's just kind of being prideful and not realizing that we're all humans, so we all have commonalities. Like, everyone has commonalities, and they're not even related. So
I know a lot of families that their similarities mainly are like TikToks and like internet humor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be that far out, but you don't have to, like, go join a swim team together, because that didn't last long. And we've been siblings. Oh, there comes Butter. And we've been siblings for, a while, and we were only on swim team for like 3 months. Butters is in between the chair legs right now. You can't see it, but she's like in between our legs. But yeah, also like having a dog and like making jokes about the dog and like little inside jokes that you have. Like, have inside jokes with your siblings, because then it makes it so there she is. It makes it so funny. But just like being goofy is so
honestly, it's healthy for you. Like, it really does boost dopamine, and it makes you happier and more joyful, and of course it's going to build relationships.
Release.
So there will be a bond created whenever you guys laugh together, and you are not too different to not find a commonality.
Yeah. When I said yeah, y'all just oh.
Did your face hurt? Does your face hurt now that you
You bit the desk.
Do you still have all your teeth?
Speaking of laughing together, we just threw the toy for Butter, and she went to go catch it, and her teeth went
ate the desk instead.
She's fine though. This dog is invincible.
All right, guys, but that is all for today's video about how to be friends with your siblings. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like this video down below and subscribe, and I will put all of our Instagrams in the comments down below.
Also, in the comments below, if you have any ideas of how you're friends with your siblings, let us know.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely things we didn't cover, and we would love to have like this greater community of people contributing to like what it means to have healthy sibling relationships.
Really out here with the wisdom. It'd be cool just to like learn from you guys and what you guys do.
Especially if you're brothers.
Yeah, like
obviously that's lacking.
I'm the brother of the family.
I know a lot of.
And like there is just so many ways to have healthy relationships with your siblings. But it doesn't mean that like what we've covered and what other people have covered is like only subject to people that have all sisters. Because in the Bible, like relationships, like biblical healthy relationships aren't assigned to certain gender combinations. It's like girls and girls, like Mary Magdalene and the other Marys, or Jesus and Mary, or all the disciples, or like just all of those ways that were healthy that were represented for us in the Bible. Like there's so many variations of the gender combinations that they have for those, so it doesn't mean that what we say won't work just because you have like a different sibling combination.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys for the next video. If you want to see my sisters and more of my videos, comment down below and we will make it happen. So see you guys later.